if you guys think that you have it all figured out with your elevator pitch down to it, just the pristine 30-second elevator pitch, and you think you got it, you think you know your mission statement, you think you got your values all figured out, and that's your statement, what you stand for, your messaging, here to tell you, you got it all wrong. So this is the Erin Strayer Show. I'm Erin Strayer. I'm an accelerated business strategist and growth consultant and interventionist. And this platform is all about elevating and leveraging other amazing female entrepreneurs. And today, I'm super excited because Carolyn Elizabeth is going to be telling you how to change up your story, how to change up your pitch, your messaging, and what you're all about. And she's going to give you the secret sauce, and it's not what grandma drinks before bed. I'm just going to tell you, because that's always what I thought secret sauce was, what grandma was pouring in her cup before bed. That's not what we're talking about today. So I am going to introduce Carolyn Elizabeth, and she is like this amazing entrepreneur who she stepped out of corporate 10 plus years ago, Carolyn? Ish?
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy,
we're
right?
both doing something right.
Yeah.
But she's a freelance writer and marketer. She is a queen of messaging, and this month is all about copy and content. My viewers asked for it. We're delivering it. Carolyn Elizabeth is a guru of content and creation. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get your messaging clear with this lady today. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Hi.
Hi. Hey, we got a couple ground rules. If you're here, we love to know that you're here. So say hi. Let us know you're here. This is also hugely, hugely valuable information that we're going to be sharing today. So make sure you share this with your people, right? Like your tribe, your coworkers, the people on your team, the people that work for you and around you and in your platform. And by all means, if you have questions, drop them in the feed. We're going to address those as we roll forward. So we love to know that you're here and all of that. So, hi.
Hi.
10 years of background, freelance writing, marketing, corporate. Let's like kind of cover some of the background here first. And like my screen is going wonky on me. Here we go. Get that off of there. So let's like cover some background. Why why you're a guru in this, because clearly you set yourself apart.
Yeah. So a bit about my background. I left corporate. I was in communications, PR areas for some 500, Fortune 500 companies. And my last, big role was just so unfulfilling. And I was already freelance writing, blogging, writing for online resources. And I left, like I literally left, and then I mailed in my key. That's a whole other program that if you ever want to talk about leaving corporate, I'd be happy to come on that. Over the last 10 years, it's been definitely a lot of winding turns, jumping through hoops, really getting to know myself and, trying out different things. But really, I believe that everything comes at a time when you're ready for it. And so that time that I was freelance writing, it was really, a great opportunity to learn more about myself and about what it's like to take on projects and work for clients who are not right for you, and teach you a variety of different things, good and bad, and just how to manage. And then from there, that snowballed into a social media and content marketing business called Flourish Marketing. And that I had for over 5 years very successfully, working with big companies, but also entrepreneurs. And what I saw with the entrepreneurs is that the real journey and the personal part of marketing, if it's missing, it's not as powerful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's why I'm here today. So I work with Only Entrepreneurs now, helping them create their true messages and marketing path so that it's powerful and it really speaks to who they are and what their brand is and what their business is all about. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about here, and what I'm going to be explaining is your core message and why that is the secret sauce.
I know, I was so excited about that because so many people think that if they got their 30-second or 1-minute elevator pitch like down to a pat, right? Like how many people just work on that and work on that and work on that and spend time in front of the mirror, right? Like,
Yeah.
like totally nailing their elevator pitch.
I know.
And spend so much time on that. And then, oh, well, what's your mission statement? Well, it's blah, 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 blah.
I'm robotic.
Yeah.
Right?
And,
yeah.
Like, it's so, like, that's not your key. That's not what makes you tick. It's not really the why.
Exactly. So, okay, so let me get into this then. So exactly. So your key message is not your mission statement. Your key message is not your elevator pitch. It's not even, it's not even really the values of your business. So your key message is, it's really exactly like you hit it right on. It's really your why. Like, what is the big purpose behind you even working for yourself? Because I truly believe like your business is going to evolve no matter what. And if you are going to stay in the entrepreneurial journey game, whatever you want to call it, you have to have a significant like force, purpose, why behind it. And everything that you're creating based on that has to show through. So I'm reading a really great book right now, and I was just like jaw dropping, like she has said exactly what I've been talking about. So I'm reading a book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm getting tingles. I'm like, this is exactly it. In order to have grit, in order to persevere, you really do have to have that purpose. She calls it that life philosophy. And that is exactly what your key message is going to be. It's not necessarily something that you say in your content or to people. That's why it's not your elevator pitch. It's that feeling. And it's hard to describe that feeling, but you need to kind of nail down that, that big kind of message. Like why are you building this business? Why is it so important to you to get out into the world? And then also, why should people care? So if you've ever read Simon Sinek's, Start With Why, that is an amazing book as well to read, because it really does hit that on the head. You have to have that passion, you have to have that purpose, you have to have that perseverance in order to keep going. So it's kind of, having that key message is, it's not something that we can go and say, okay, this is how you're going to get it, A, B, C, D, E. Like, it's very personal, and that's where you need to go into yourself and explore yourself and your own journey, your own personal life journey, your business journey, and get into that core of what it is that's driving you, right? Like, what is driving this vehicle that you're creating for yourself. So I often get my clients to look back on their life and, really kind of think about the big experiences that they've had in their life that has had a real positive and like a big impact on them, and what are the commonalities between them that have driven them to this place that they want to create a business. Because it's not enough anymore to create or at all ever to create a business just for the sake of making money. Back to Angela Duckworth, if you read her book, you will see that it's not enough. Like, if you don't have that grit, then you're not going to survive. So over 10 years for me, I have maintained that grit because I want to lead a fulfilling life, and I want to lead it with purpose, passion, and perseverance. So that is my why, right? Yeah.
So an example of a key message for you, like a why message, would be what? Is it a certain number of words, like keep it under, 6 words, or, I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, hey, describe what you do in 10 words or less.
Right. And that would be your elevator pitch, right? So, yeah. I mean, essentially your why is that platform or the backdrop to all of your communication. So, or think of it as that kind of golden nugget. So you have this like why. It doesn't matter how many words. This is your story. This is what is like beating your heart as you're creating your business. And this is what makes you want to share, makes you get out there. And so from there, all of your, your messages, your videos, your marketing messages, your videos, your posts, your blog posts, you're getting, you're being a guest on the Erin Strayer show because you have this like big, thing to share with people that you really, it takes away that fear, because oftentimes that fear can stop you in your tracks. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how long it is. It's something that you need to keep on paper, that you look at every single day, that you journal about, that you can be short. It can be long. Like I just said, like my why is.
No, that's what I was going to say. What's your why? Tell me yours.
My why
is, Carolyn?
Well, my why is living a fulfilling life. I mean, if I have looked back at all of the events in my life, every single time I haven't felt fulfilled, I have left that situation. That last corporate job that I mailed that key in. I mean, I am not one to think that anything is set in stone. Nothing is ever set in stone. And if you're not feeling fulfilled, leave. There's always a path for you. So, and
let that fall, people. Let it land. If you're not feeling fulfilled.
If you're not feeling fulfilled, go another way. There's always that other way. And that is my key message. That is my key message. So let your business evolve. Let your life evolve. Leave that relationship. Leave that corporate job. Like, you don't have to be there. Like, there's nothing keeping you in a place but you. So that is my yes.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So you are responsible for keeping yourself happy or keeping yourself miserable.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
And I know this is a mindset conversation, but it's also a content conversation, because you're not going to get out that fierce, powerful content if you don't have that behind it. It's not going to come easy to you if you don't have that key message behind everything. You can have a key message and create a million different topics around it. And this is why it's your secret sauce, because you have to have that, oh my God, that drive and that power. Otherwise it just falls flat. And that's when you start hiring people who aren't, necessarily right for your business to do writing for you. And that's when, you just start confusing your those different messages, which are confusing your audience. So if you have that consistency, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the same thing over and over again. But that's why this key message, or this core message, as it's also referred to, is something you need to pull from continually as you're writing your content.
So you said something pretty integral to me. When you start hiring those people to write for you, and you're not in the right space, meaning you're not in the right space, so therefore you didn't hire the right people. Mm-hmm. It's okay to outsource, but when those people aren't, am I picking up what you're laying down? Because I feel like...
Because how are you going to be communicating what you want? I mean, me starting as a freelance writer and a copywriter and working with a number of different clients across the board, I felt that, people would say, I want you to write for me. Well, how how am I going to fully express your business if you don't even know how to express it? What is the true purpose? And honestly, I mean, going back, a lot of those businesses are no longer in business. And I'm not surprised because there wasn't that heart, like that center. So it's really interesting to see. It's interesting to go back and see who's still in it and who's not.
Yeah. So the context of your messaging, when it's disconnected, right? If that core, that key isn't maintained and like honored and consistent. So like, let's talk about that piece for a second. So that your content like becomes discombobulated and not connecting and it doesn't make sense. And it like, then you're losing your audience, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
Let's talk about that piece for a second, because I'm sure that's huge in what you see and how you deal with your clients and how, you know, because you are a freelance writer, but you also coach people on how to build themselves up and their messaging, right? So let's
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not a freelance writer anymore, but I am coaching and consulting. So I am teaching now how to. Well, no,
I'm just making stuff up for you.
No, so yeah, that consistency is so important, because if you're going to take the time to put your, to create something that you want your audience to read and know about you, you don't want them to go back and forth and go, well, what are you? Who are you? What do you really stand for? You want them to know the personality behind the brand. You want them to know, exactly who you are, so that you are attracting the right people to you, first of all, and not just, random people. You want to, show them what you stand for and what you stand against, again, so that you can attract the right type of client to you. And you want to be that consistent person so that you're building your audience and your community, and building a name for you. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, but you need to have content out there. And if your content's very scattered, then how are people going to be, falling in love with you, right? Because they're not going to be standing for and against with you too. So, like I said too, like that message and that core, it can come through any platform or any way that you deliver it. So, and that's the other, like, it's your message that counts, not your platform, also. So. Don't worry about Facebook. I'm just kidding.
Right, we're on Facebook, but if
I know we're on Facebook. I love Facebook.
You know what I mean? Like if Pinterest or LinkedIn or Instagram are more your speed, more what you spend your time on, then put your time there, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and don't spread yourself thin. I mean, I do all of my things on Facebook. So, but if that's, if you're spreading your message on Pinterest or Instagram or whatever, the platform doesn't matter. It's the message that matters.
Yeah. And I'm just going to nail you've said it multiple times about being consistent.
Yeah.
Too is huge. And I know that to be able to continue that consistency, it all links, right? Like, it's that backward constructing, right? So you're going right back to that nugget.
Exactly.
That why.
That golden nugget.
That golden nugget that's so integral, and it's so relevant to what you do. I mean, it's your why, right? So it has to be at a cellular level. And if it's not, then it's not really what you should be doing. Like, if it's not lining up, if you're not happy, if you're not like, can't wait to go to work today, even though it's just upstairs in your office or down the hall, right? Like, change.
Exactly. Yeah. And your message is going to be different. And I mean, everybody's going to have their own, message and their own why, their own purpose. And that's what makes you and your business unique.
Yeah. So I know that the other thing, is being clear, being consistent, making sure it makes sense, but also, like, what are you growing for? Because I know you and I talked off screen on that. Mm-hmm. And I thought, that's so important for you to touch on and that people understand.
Right.
And what's that look like?
So when others are growing,
when I'm growing my business, what am I growing it for?
Yes.
Right?
What are you growing? Yeah. So, and this is exactly why having that core, you have to allow yourself to evolve. You're not just going to stay in the same place that you're in. I mean, you can, but I know if you're an entrepreneur, you want to allow different opportunities to come your way and allow yourself to, to grow and to evolve, and you can still maintain that why and that key message throughout everything you do, throughout that, even if you go into something a little different, it's still on the path to that bigger purpose for you. It doesn't matter if it's something, you can always change gears. I did, having that business, having Flourish Marketing for almost 6 years and changing that path. That's just, I allowed myself to evolve because it's aligned with who I am. I have evolved. And so it's still aligned with that purpose, like it's ingrained, So, and that's the other thing, your key message is often ingrained. Like it's something that you feel so strongly about. It's not necessarily a passion at a certain point in your life. It's something that you're, as Angela Duckworth said, your life philosophy. I just love that description. So, and I don't want to take the credit for it.
No, right, but you can adapt it and you can, what you do. I mean, that's standing on the shoulders of those that have gone before, right? Like,
yeah,
she didn't write a book if she didn't want you to apply.
Oh, for sure.
The lessons, right? So if she didn't want you to know it, she would have kept it all to herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I mean, that's just like, hi, Leslie, how are you? That's just like, you and I, with what we know and what we're experts in. It's like, man, if I didn't want to teach somebody how to do it, I wouldn't be out there saying, hey, this is how you do it.
Right. Yeah.
It is awesome. I mean, you do give credit where credit's due, and that's integrity. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
What do you have going on right now in your world? Like, I know you have your signature program. Let's talk about that for a second.
Sure. So I have a signature program. It's called Build Your Brilliance, and it's one-on-one. It's a private opportunity. And what I do with my clients is I help them, really get clear on their key messages, create offerings, programs, services, programs, products that really are aligned with who they are and what they actually want to share with the world. I really feel like what you put out there and what you sell is really kind of like the box of your personality, your key message, your purpose. I mean, being shared out there to the world and helping others, who your audience is. It's a real, all-encompassing program. So it's a 3-month program. But I also really do believe in talking to potential clients and understanding where they're at and seeing how I can help them through other types of, one-on-one. I only work one-on-one with my clients because I feel like it's the best way to provide the most transformation for them.
So that's what it's about, right? Transformation.
Yeah, so Build Your Brilliance, it's buildyourbrilliance.com, and it's going to evolve into more than my signature program, but that is what, I'm offering right now. It really is something that's going to be growing, so just see.
And that's also the name of your Facebook group, yes?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is an amazing space, people. Let me just tell you, it's a great space, and Carolyn does a lot of tips and teaching inside of there, which is it's really fun. It's really fun to hang out in her group.
Yeah. I like going on there and doing live videos, and like going on there live and just providing advice and tips and just it's a really great space.
Yeah, all on messaging. I know Leslie commented on here that she tried teaching something different. This is back to what we were talking about before, and she ended up not being her thing. So she switched back. So that was kind of, it's good to identify all of those. It's good to try it. If you don't try it, you don't know.
Exactly. I mean, there's no reason not to try something. If you want to try it and then you decide to drop it, that's fine too. I have done that. I have started programs that just didn't feel right and didn't feel aligned with my key message. And so I dropped it, you know? And that's another reason why you need to have that key message, that why, that core, because then you know what, like, then you're just more clear on what feels right and, you know, what's going to, going to fly for you and for your clients, because you need to be excited in order for your clients to be excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And that shows through in everything that you do too, right? Like if like, I know Leslie will agree with that too. And there's some other people on here that I can see on here that they're not showing up on, on my platform. That, you know, we've all tried things and they haven't gone as planned. And I think if we trace it back, that it goes back to that we probably were off a little bit from our why for whatever reason.
Exactly. Oh, it's absolutely true. I think, easy to try things that just don't feel aligned because, you know, of where you are or whatever, but it's okay to let it go.
Yeah. So what's your take on that? And we'll just spend a little bit of time on this. And it is relevant to messaging. It is relevant to content. It is relevant. What's your take on trying things? And if they don't go the way that you planned them to go, what's your take on that?
I honestly, never beat yourself up ever. There are so many, I mean, if you tried something, that is amazing, because there are so many people, too many people, who think they'll try and then they're too scared to, and then they don't. I mean, I also think of it like this. If you try something and it doesn't work out the way that you had planned, like let's say you develop a course and either one person signs up and now it's a private course. I mean, think of it. That's great. Or nobody does. Think of the experience that you gain from it.
Right.
You know, everything is a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And being an entrepreneur, building a business is a learning curve.
Right.
Like, no matter what. I mean, there is never a dull moment unless you just decide to just keep, but there's always room for growth, no matter what. I mean, and never beat yourself up. I think if you would talk to keep a nice community of other entrepreneurs, and you'll see that everyone has gone through something that just didn't work out the way they thought.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, 100%. You guys, we've been talking today with Carolyn Elizabeth, who is the founder and Brain Guru. Brain Guru? I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
She is absolutely a guru in and around the marketing and building your core why and your messaging, and is all about that. Her Build Your Brilliance Facebook group, and will you drop the links in here too when we're
Absolutely.
done?
Yeah.
Awesome. If people want to follow you and troll you and hang out in your space and in your awesomeness some more, I would love if you would drop those in the feed when we're done. If you guys have been with us, thank you so very much for being with us live. If you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay. And again, you guys, caring is sharing. And so share this out, because Carolyn's information here is vital to your messaging. And I think if you can get yourself wrapped around the fact that, you know, some of the old school teaching, you know, the old elevator pitching, what is your, you know, your mission statement and your values, and that's your whole why. If you can step away from that and really dive into the center of your cells and your heart and figure out what your true why is, that you're going to like really tighten up your your messaging, and like the rest of it's just going to explode for you. So
Feel
if
good.
you need some help, this lady is your lady to help you dig into that and tear it apart and pick it apart and put it right back together for you in a more aligned way. So anyways, Thank you so much for being on live with us, Carolyn.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, everybody. We've been here on the Erin Strayer Show. We're back here live every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll see you right back here soon. Hang out with me for just a second, Carolyn.